Switch to breaking news in West LA. That's where there's a report of a stolen car being tracked by authorities. Jim Holcomb, our police specialist, on the line right now. And Jim, tell us exactly what is the difference between tracking and an actual pursuit?
Well, Laura, right now LAPD has gone into what they call the tracking mode. It's where they tell their units to stop driving code 3, and they have the air unit follow them. The idea is to hopefully get this person to slow down. Right now, we know that this LAPD is in pursuit of a stolen vehicle that has been going on for about 15 minutes that we've been on it. We have information there are 4 people inside this vehicle. We believe it is a Toyota. Last known direction here was eastbound on Olympic, just passing Beverly Glen. He's been on and off the 10 freeway and now on surface streets in the West Los Angeles area.
Have we noticed any dangerous driving, Jim?
To be honest with you, we just got on it here, and I don't believe we've racked up any traffic accidents, but I don't know before we got on the pursuit. I don't know exactly what's happened prior to that.
We have had reports that the car was driving on the wrong side of the road and at times at high rates of speed. Of course, right now it looks as if maybe driving a little faster than normal, but so far obeying all the traffic laws and signals.
Well, if he's heading eastbound on Olympic, then that means he's probably approaching the Beverly Hills area. And this is a kind of evening, 10:43, on a warm night, when you would expect people to be out and about. So I would think that it would be more dangerous, Jim.
Absolutely. And, he has we've at least seen him go through a couple of red lights, one at Westwood Boulevard, stale red. He went right through it. Luckily, he didn't hit anybody. So he's definitely trying to get away, trying to avoid police right now. And again, the tracking mode is hopefully to get him to slow down, but it doesn't appear that he's really reacting that way.
And if you're just joining us now at 10:44, we've been keeping an eye on that sedan there that is believed to be a blue or blue-gray Toyota Corolla with 4 people inside. It is believed to be a stolen car. As we watch as traffic slows there a bit, the vehicle has stopped. It's hard to see where the light is, but now it's green and the car is moving forward. We're still driving eastbound on Olympic, I presume. Yeah,
continuing eastbound on Olympic. Again, the air unit, of course, is still tracking that vehicle. LAPD may engage it again, depending on what the decision is of their watch commander.
When you have 4 people in a car like this, I would think that this makes it a more difficult procedure for police there who are in pursuit, tracking the vehicle at this hour. You just never know who might step out, who might possibly be armed. How exactly will they handle it from this point forward, Jim?
Well, and by the way, I just want to mention again, he has doubled back. He's now westbound, just passing through Westwood on Pico Boulevard here. Just if you're familiar with that area, he's now back westbound again. And again, if you got 4 people inside this car, you definitely want to try to maintain proximity because you lose control if this guy stops or he was to get out and try and commandeer another vehicle or go into a building. He could potentially get hostages before police could react to that. So it's kind of an iffy situation to allow him to go into this tracking mode.
All right, keeping an eye on this vehicle now. We see.
And again, he's still westbound on Pico, just passing through Gateway right now.
And do people seem to be aware that he's being pursued? We haven't seen that many black and white, so I don't know how many cars are actually following him at this hour.
Well, it's going to be a little difficult. Of course, you can tell from the night sun. He's just passing underneath the 405 freeway right now. But the police cars are going to try to be back far enough that they're out of line sight from the suspect, which means people are not going to see the police cars or hear any sirens. So, again, you just have to hope that this guy's going to slow down. Looks like he's underneath that freeway. I didn't see him come back out on the other side yet.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's doubled back. He's now eastbound on Pico from the San Diego Freeway on surface streets, back eastbound again.
Okay.
So he's reversing courses a couple of times now.
Well, he's taking another turn here.
Yeah, just going through Sepulveda here right now.
And the black and whites are now in pursuit again. So
now it looks like he's made a southbound turn here on Sepulveda.
Southbound is, okay.
Definitely speeding up, definitely crossing over the double lines a couple of times since we first started watching this vehicle.
Yeah, no, look at him increase his speed here right now. It looks like he's Bruce can maybe help me on this. Yeah, he just turned his lights back on. His lights were off there for a second.
What would you estimate his speed to be?
I'm just going to throw an estimate out and say he's doing about 50 there because that's a 35-mile-an-hour zone, and he's booking along pretty good. Coming up now on looks like he's going to be approaching National Boulevard southbound, still southbound on Westwood.
And changing course again, making a left-hand turn. Off of, we believe that was off of Sepulveda, so...
Yeah, he's now on National Boulevard, again, eastbound from Sepulveda on National.
So often what we see in these instances, too, the driver knows these streets. That's why they tend to go in circles, just an area that they're familiar with, the side streets, the surface streets, the freeways. He's moving along at a good clip, though.
Yeah, one thing you have to remember is the danger of these pursuits are significantly ratcheted up when they're on surface streets because you've got all this cross-traffic, Laura. You got people that are out walking around, maybe walking through intersections, and it's much more dangerous than on a freeway. Oh,
like that turn, that wasn't what you would call a safe turn.
Yeah, look at this. See, now he made that right turn. Now he's southbound. Looks possibly on Westwood. Yeah, passing over the freeway now, southbound on Westwood.
And if this initial call is correct, that this is a stolen vehicle, obviously, just in the commission of what took place at the beginning of this, already has charges against him. So I would think that the adrenaline would be pumping at a high rate.
Yeah, he's definitely he's got to be
going through a red light. Red light into that very busy intersection. Fortunately, people stopped. He continued through.
Okay, now he's blacked out again. He's turning his lights off again, indicating that he's definitely trying to evade them. He's hoping he can probably get far enough away where they're not going to see him. That's not going to be the case now with the helicopter. They're talking about re-engaging again, but again, they have not gotten the go-ahead to do that.
Wow, that is so scary to watch.
Yeah, look at him on these dark streets right here, no headlights. Imagine if you just saw a car coming, you had no headlights on him or anything, and all of a sudden he's on top of you.
In some respects, he's benefiting from that night sun because if on some of these streets that are dark enough, it's the night sun that's giving him a little path of light.
You really have so little time, though, to respond. If you're driving on a surface street, you have no idea what's coming at you, and he's coming so precariously close to these cars right there.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Through another red light, making a left turn.
Yeah, look at him right there. Okay, almost colliding with someone there in that intersection. And again, now he's making a left turn, so he's going to be going northbound. I'm not sure exactly what street he's on right now because he's made so many changes.
Yeah, it's hard for us to see. Is this residential or is this still business area?
It's a semi-residential street. It's got apartments on it, but I believe he's on Motor now, northbound on Motor. Should be passing underneath the freeway here in just a second.
He's going in circles or squares, as the case may be, going underneath the freeway.
Okay, now he's...
Lights back on, again going through an intersection, red light, very scary.
Yeah, and if you ever are in the area of one of these pursuits and you see one coming up behind you, the best thing to do is just slow down slightly and just inch over to the right. Don't make any abrupt moves, just in case law enforcement is following right behind them. If you might accidentally pull in front of them while they're trying to pursue this car.
Jim, is this still considered not to be a full pursuit?
Well, no, it is. They're in the tracking mode, but it is definitely a pursuit. They've already announced that it was a pursuit, so they can't really abandon that. Now they're just trying to manage this pursuit as best they can and see if they can do what they can to reduce the risk of this.
All right, if you're familiar with this area, we're hearing that this car has gone westbound on Pico, eastbound on Pico, Sepulveda, Overland. Eastbound on National, and has just gone round and round and round. The car likes to go under the freeway. At one point, it seemed as if the vehicle had stopped under the freeway, perhaps in the hopes that it would lose the helicopter overhead. That was not the case, especially now that there are law enforcement cars behind trying to catch up with this vehicle. Now we're being told that it's northbound on Centinela.
So, Jim, at this point, would they be trying to communicate with the person driving this vehicle?
If they can, but it's a stolen vehicle. It's unlikely that they're going to know who's in there that they could contact them with on a cell phone. And again, we're getting reports that there were 4 people inside. That's not 100% confirmed, but that's the information that's being shared with law enforcement right now. So this is really pretty much their game at this point. And all law enforcement can do is really keep that night sun on them, try to let people know that this car is coming, that something's coming their way, and hopefully bring it to a conclusion at some point.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous would you say it is?
I'm sorry, say it again. We were covered by some radios here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous would you consider it to be?
I'd put it at about a 7 right now. He hasn't really done a lot of real egregious moves. He's passing on the right. He hasn't. I don't. It's just really. It's up there. If he gets back on the freeway, the risk goes down slightly.
Northbound Centinela coming up to Santa Monica Airport. Now, how does that affect things? Because there's air traffic perhaps to consider, although it is fairly late.
Luckily, the airport shuts down at 9 o'clock and goes to a Class
Eastbound
G.
National?
Yeah, he's just passing just northbound on the east side of Santa Monica Airport, northbound.
Okay.
So luckily that the airport closes down for control tower
purposes.
shuts down at 9.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Now it looks like he's back eastbound again.
Eastbound National is what I'm being told.
Yeah, eastbound National from Bundy.
It always seems these type of incidents happen when it's warm outside, and it's almost like a summer night tonight. A lot of folks out and about driving or even walking at almost 11 o'clock at night. So what do you think their strategy, the best strategy they could employ right now, Jim?
Their hands are really tied. I mean, they can't really do a spike strip because he's not consistently going down streets. He's going to be approaching. Looks like he's going to be approaching Barrington shortly here, and again, he's just not really in a tight pattern. But I would say that there's a good possibility he's probably looking for a place to dump this vehicle somewhere in the West LA area.
Right, not a tight pattern, but for those of you who know this area, it borders Culver City, borders Santa Monica, Westwood, West LA. There was even a little bit in the Beverly Hills area. Now we're being told southbound Inglewood. So getting away from the West LA, Santa Monica area, heading more towards the airport, LAX.
Well,
and now making another right-hand turn.
Yeah, he's not really quite down there. He's going to be coming up on Venice Boulevard here, so he's quite a ways from LAX. Now it looks like he's westbound here on Venice, I believe, westbound Venice.
Coming up to the Palms area.
Yeah, he's been all through the Palms area. Now if he starts going southbound, he'll be heading toward LAX. Now it looks like that, and here he goes, southbound now on, I believe it is Grandview. I believe it's Grandview.
Grandview, not on Venice. Has left the Venice area, or Venice Boulevard?
Yeah.
Okay. No longer westbound on
But
Venice.
this looks to be more residential, is it?
A little bit more residential, but it's kind of a business area there.
Another right-hand turn.
Yeah. Again, all these streets are lined with apartment buildings. Now he's again westbound here. It looks like on Venice Boulevard, or is it Washington? No, it's Washington. Mm-hmm. Westbound Washington.
But if you're just joining us right now, this is a blue Toyota Corolla. We believe there are 4 people inside. A stolen car. Authorities have been following it now for some time. The LAPD in pursuit. And Susan, we've been watching as he's been very close to other vehicles, going right through red lights.
Through red lights. Narrowly missing a number of cars. The good news is has not hit a one car. We're keeping an eye both on this car and also the time, frankly, because we are going to have to sign off this particular 10 o'clock newscast. Westbound on Washington Boulevard and going at a higher rate of speed than what we saw earlier.
At one point, they were just tracking the vehicle, but now we're calling it a pursuit again, simply because they couldn't get him to stop. So the theory right now is that they have to keep a tight rein on the situation.
And just a little historical note here. The tracking mode has traditionally not been successful. These guys don't slow down. From my experience, and I've seen a lot of these pursuits, I just don't see very many of them slow down. As a matter of fact, this is a perfect example where this guy's keeping at least his speed, if not faster, than when they were in pursuit of him.
And crossing over the center divider there.
Yeah. Now
so scary to watch this, but
unbelievable. Look at him. Now he's on the wrong side of the roadway, southbound. Oh, my God.
Truly amazing he hasn't hit another vehicle. It's run through so many red lights, but so far, no one's been hurt.
Not yet, but, every intersection he goes through is another opportunity for him to take the life of some innocent person or their family, and this is something you have to remember on all these pursuits. They're extremely dangerous.
Going through that intersection once again and causing a lot of worries for law enforcement. That is it for us tonight. We're going to keep an eye on this, but we are going to have to say goodnight. Hell's Kitchen coming up next.
Okay. Well, we're now close to Culver City. This guy's going so fast, he's going through cities like nothing. There's about... do you have eyes on it, Mike? Okay. Coming into Santa Monica now, Santa Monica. Northbound Inglewood. Through Beverly and then copy that. Copy, thank you. Left turn, left turn. That's right, you guys. You've been watching this with me. High rates of speed. This guy has been going through different parts of LA here. That started in the Crenshaw area, now is in the Santa Monica area. The pursuit has been actually started by the LAPD's Metro units. They pulled off the pursuit and let the helicopter track it, but that didn't slow this guy down. Normally that will slow down a driver in a pursuit, but this guy has been hitting the gas through neighborhoods, running red lights, running through stop signs. Now he's turning into a cul-de-sac right now. We'll try to get you to the street. I believe they said Culver Avenue here. Now he's backed up and continuing on, but he has been going on and off with his lights off. Currently he has his lights blacked out. That's very, very dangerous. Now he's been passing other vehicles that don't know he's coming, especially with his lights off like this. They have no idea that the pursuit's coming behind them, and he blows right by them on the wrong side of the road. We saw at one point he passed on the left-hand side of a car that was making a left-hand turn, and that car nearly hit him. It was a very close call. In fact, there's been several close calls in this pursuit. Now here we're seeing for the first time an LAPD unit. They're engaging the pursuit once again. So this is Bundy from National. There he goes with the headlights on. More units involved here. I believe those were some maybe Santa Monica units that may be getting involved in this pursuit as well. But again, this has been going on for the last 25 minutes, and this guy has not let off the gas, continuing running red lights. We've seen a couple close calls with pedestrians, I should say, and continuing on now. He's going to go under us here, and we're going to flip the camera around. Sorry about the move here, but again, this is going now under the freeway and continuing on, coming up to a heavy intersection. Again, here's what he's doing. He's blowing right through red lights at a high rate of speed. That time, no cross traffic, but again, very, very close calls multiple times in this pursuit. Oh, it looks like about 70 miles an hour. Look at how he's just passing these cars that are going the speed limit, probably about 40 miles an hour. So he's blowing right by him, right down the center of the road here. And again, here he comes to a pocket. Oh, that truck! Oh, unbelievable. Such a close call right there. And continuing on, pushing back into, this is Bundy and Santa Monica. and continuing on through the intersections here. Red light after red light. What a close call that was for that truck driver, and for the driver as well. I mean, that's a very dangerous situation, going 70 miles an hour, and all of a sudden there's a flatbed tow truck in front of you, and you have to really, I mean, gauge that very, very closely as a driver. I don't know how he missed that truck. We haven't. We did hear the LAPD talking about at least 2 people in the vehicle, possibly 4, and definitely a stolen vehicle. Again, this was initiated by the LAPD Metro unit in the Crenshaw area, near the Crenshaw Mall, I should say, and they jumped on the 10 freeway, went westbound, and then got into the west side of the LA area, I should say, and has continued on now. Let's see, we lost him behind a building here, and there he is into an alleyway. Let's see what he does in this alleyway. This is the first time we've seen him go down an alleyway. But again, this is an opportunity for this driver and the passengers to jump out, maybe turn into one of these parking structures here. But no, they decide to continue on. Again, no units right now directly behind this vehicle. They were trying to give this driver some space, trying to give him some breathing room to maybe bring this to an end. And that's maybe what they're going to do here in this alleyway. But they know the airship's overhead. You can see that night sun lighting them up. But continuing on in this alleyway here, coming up to Westgate and out again. Kathy, it's so hard for those units to try to figure out where to put those spikes here, traveling at the rate of speed this guy's going. Again, you know, right now, unfortunately, he's driving fairly slow through these narrow streets, but as soon as he gets on those major streets, he just really hits the gas and takes off. And that's just it. We haven't seen a pattern set up here where he's continuing to drive in a certain area, but that's what makes it hard for the LAPD units to use that spike strip and put it in the right spot. Absolutely. That's right, Kathy. I mean, right there, that was San Vicente. Now he's on another side street here. This is actually Bundy, I should say. So crossing over San Vicente there, you know how the traffic is on a busy street like that, just blowing right through like he doesn't really care. And we've seen him time and time again now in this pursuit, now going on about 40 minutes, blacked out here and having no regard, like you said, Adrian, for any of the traffic or anybody on foot, for you know, for that matter. So continuing on here on Bundy, approaching Sunset, and we'll see what happens when he runs this red light. Right there, you can see the cross traffic. Luckily, he made it right through that one. But again, a very dangerous situation here with this stolen vehicle out of the LAPD Crenshaw area. The airship following only. Now look at this. He's blacked out. He's completely blacked out there. And let's see if we can take a look here if he's going to exit. Yes, there goes what looked like maybe the driver and a rear passenger, another passenger. That's 3 at least. One of them looked like a female. And we didn't see where the driver went. There goes a car by them. And here comes the units. Yeah, unfortunately, the homes are blocking here. It looks like there's a good foot chase going on right down the street back towards the vehicle, and now they might be in this neighborhood in the houses here. That's unfortunate, but it looks like the officers got on it really quick as soon as those three jumped out. We didn't see a fourth one, so it may have only been the three. It looks like we have some flashlights in here. I'm going to try to. Here we go. There's some night sun action from the helicopter lighting up the scene here, and we'll see if we can see. I'm listening to the LAPD talking about they have all suspects in custody right now. Unfortunately, we have a big tree blocking our shot, but it sounds like this pursuit's over, a very dangerous pursuit that ended here, fortunately, safely.